Hey friends, I hope you're doing well and having a great start to your day. Well, today is a rather serious start to a series. Serious start to a series. Don't let me just use humor to deflect because that's codependent. Speaking of, oh man, I'm literally starting to sweat. I'm having a visceral response right now. Pew, pew, pew. All right, let's do this. Self-development. That was me giving myself a high five of encouragement because I can do this. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. See? So, yes, welcome to possibly the most terrifying series I might ever fucking create on the internet. And it's not horror-based, it's not spooky, but it is Insidious. Not that one. We're not getting paranormal. I wish that would be fun. But in this series, we're going to talk all about codependency. Yeah. So sit back, get some tissues. We're about to cry, bitch. We're not. We might, and that's okay. I guess that's also a warning I should add here. I am not a licensed therapist. I am just an experienced survivor of codependency. So hopefully you don't see me sweat and you don't hear the fan going on high motherfucking speed in this room because your boy is nervous. I am nervous, man. I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I'm doing this because I need this series to exist. I am making the content that I wish that I had. And it's gonna get deep and dark. A lot of ebbing and flowing throughout this series. We're gonna be talking about each and every single behavior pattern that is associated with codependency. We're gonna kind of break down and decode what they mean. I'm going to share my experience, which lives on a spectrum, plane. We'll talk about when I was at my lowest low and hit my rock bottom and my experience through recovery. The tools that I've learned, and I want to help you understand how to ask for help in a way that feels comfortable. In my experience, you have to be able to access peace in your body somatically to be able to even ingest the information of recovery. I didn't know that, so I spent a lot of the beginning of my recovery just getting back into my body and learning how to not disassociate in fear, and also really unpacking and decoding the patterns because I believe that the language is outdated and confusing, especially for people that are any kind of neurodivergent. So if you're confused by the language used and your brain isn't able really to ingest the information because it's still in a state of panic or distress, then you're not going to really absorb the information in a way that will help you start making the changes needed to feel better. Granted, this is all coming from my perspective. So just like all of the rest of my videos, I want you to take what is helpful and I want you to leave the rest. I hope that this becomes a tool for others to use. I hope that it's helpful more than anything. I find it unbelievably necessary, and helping people see that self-development doesn't have to be scary and boring and monotonous, and it can be fun and funny, and we can find the humor in our silly little human tendencies. So that's why I'm doing this. Man, the entire back of my shirt right now is like soaked in sweat. I'm reaching. I'm not. Don't put it in your mouth and drink the. Oh no. Well, the ice is melting, so it's like kind of watery. That's water ingestion, right? Shit. Sick, bro. Codependency is a pattern of behavior where one person puts the needs and wants of another person before their own to an unhealthy extent. This often involves a reliance on others for approval and a sense of identity, leading to imbalanced and sometimes toxic relationships. People who are codependent may have difficulty setting boundaries, saying no, and taking care of their own needs. There's going to be a lot of moments where I'll probably have to take deep breaths. I always hear people say people pleasing. And to me, people pleasing is another way to categorize some of the patterns of codependency. And don't worry, we will get into the nitty gritty, the dirty little corners of the room. Oh my God. In case you're wondering, deflection with comedy and humor is a pattern of codependency. It's not one of mine, though. Okay. Codependency is an addiction to a behavior pattern that is normally associated with a person, but it's also behaviors that are associated with places and things. Meaning, codependent individuals might become attached to specific places that they associate with their sense of security or identity. For example, they might feel an intense need to stay in a particular home, neighborhood, or city because it represents safety or control. Leaving these places can provoke anxiety and a feeling of loss, similar to withdrawal symptoms in substance addiction. Codependency can also manifest in attachment to objects or routines. This can include compulsive behaviors such as excessive tidiness, hoarding, perfectionism, or an over-reliance on material possessions to feel secure. These behaviors often serve as a way to exert control over their environment or provide a temporary sense of comfort and stability. And I think that goes even further. We live in such a society that is stuck in capitalism and materialism, and things are so important to people for the wrong reasons, because they think it brings them safety or happiness, and it doesn't. If it does, it's for a very, very temporary amount of time, and then you're right back to where you were. And that's because true happiness lives on the inside. Codependency is the complete opposite. The concept of codependency first emerged in the 1950s with the context of Alcoholics Anonymous and the treatment of substance abuse. It was originally used to describe the relationship pattern of those living with alcoholics, particularly how their lives and behaviors became intertwined and controlled by the addict's needs. Over time, the understanding of codependency has expanded beyond addiction. Today, it is recognized as a broader psychological condition that can affect anyone in any type of relationship, not just those involving addiction. Modern psychology views codependency as a learned behavior that can be unlearned through self-awareness, therapy, and support. Codependency can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and depression, as people neglect their own needs and emotions. By identifying codependent patterns, individuals can start to set healthy boundaries, prioritize self-care, and build more balanced and fulfilling relationships. Furthermore, addressing codependency helps break the cycle of unhealthy behaviors, benefiting not just the individual, but also those around them. It promotes healthier, more authentic connections and empowers people to live more autonomous and satisfying lives. I hope that kind of helps give you more of an understanding of what codependency is. I hope you're excited. I know that a lot of people are scared about changing. There's a fear of change that is in all of us. What I keep telling myself is that on the other side of fear is the growth that I've been looking for. I have never felt more like myself than I do right now. And that wouldn't be true if I didn't go to therapy, if I didn't start recovery. And yes, there was so much shame that I had to swim through. I had to feel in my body. I have gone back and navigated those experiences, and I validated them for myself, because a lot of the time before, I needed others to validate it for me, to tell me that I was right to feel that way. You're right to feel whatever you want or need to feel. You have permission to feel those feelings. You have permission to go deep, to cry, to have bad days. I support you in the decision to better yourself, because the more that you better yourself, the more you're bettering the world. I'm gonna do my best to kind of put action items at the end of these videos, kind of like coaching. I hope that something in you lights up and encourages you to do this. And the question that I want you to ask yourself is, what are my fears around changing myself? Be honest. as honest as you can. You can write it on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and then burn, cut it up, throw it away. I encourage you to keep it. I do, because wow, going back into old journals really helped me understand where I need to put the most work in. And these answers, a year from now, if you were to go back and look at them, you might see how incredibly powerful and courageous and brave you are to have made the changes that you have. They accumulate, they add up. It's slow, but they add up. This is it. This is the intro. I know that a part of my nervousness about making this first one video is me making the commitment to not only you, but to myself to make the rest of the videos. Ooh, that got me even more sweaty. I'm committed. This is me showing up for myself. Showing you how I show up for myself, I hope will inspire you to show up for yourself. And I'll be here along the way. And I know it's scary. A lot of things are scary. But once you get through the fear, the empowerment that you'll feel will be life-changing. I'm so proud of myself for doing this. I'm so proud of you for showing up. And I'm gonna be back. And the next video, we're gonna start talking about patterns and really starting to do the real digging. I might be coming and showing up in some overalls because we about to do some work. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. So thank you for listening, and thank you for coming to hang out with me and just being you. And I hope that you have a beautiful and wonderful rest of your day. And until I see you again, be well, friends.